supposed to have this budget briefing for the SUCs, the University of the Philippines, PERPI, as well as CHED. But because of the declaration of signal number 2 yesterday, kinancel ho namin dahil para sa safety at para hindi po mahirapan mag-commute yung mga ibang mga kasamahan ho natin. Pero dahil andito na po lahat ng mga SUC presidents ho natin, I coordinated with your president, President Tirso Ronquillo, the PASOK president, that kung nandito naman po lahat, magkaroon na lang tayo ng special budget briefing ngayong Sabado, today. No? In fact, sabi nga sa akin ng LBRMO, first time in the history of the Senate na nagkaroon ng budget briefing on a Saturday. No? Na ganun kasipag po si Senator Kiko Pangilinan, no? Dahil nandito siya on a Saturday. So ayaw namin sayangin yung inyong presensya dahil marami sa inyo ay lumuwas pa galing ng iba't ibang probinsya, iba't ibang lugar ng ating bansa at nandito na kayo. So sabi ko kay Pres Ronquillo, tuloy na natin dahil mahirap naman babalik kayo, babalik na naman dito on a later day. So we took advantage of your presence here in Metro Manila. So maraming salamat for coming over here to the Senate at maraming salamat, di muna kayo umuwi. We'll try to finish as quick as possible dahil alam ko yung iba sa inyo gusto nang umuwi dahil may mga ibang lugar tayo na masama po ang tama ng bagyo, katulad po sa Marinduque, sa Sorsogon, sa Bicol area. So I'm sure you want to see the state of your state university in that area. So we'll try to finish as quick as possible so that you can already go back to your state universities and see the situation. So today, for an orderly discussion, we will start off with the presentation of our SUCs, and then we'll go to the presentation of budget by the University of the Philippines, and then a presentation of the budget of PERPI, which is the energy research arm of University of the Philippines. With that, any?
Yes. Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Senator Gatchalian. Kung tayo po ay masipag at narito ng Sabado, dahil nang nabanggit ng ating chairman, mas masipag po siya dahil siya naman ang nagde-decide kung dapat mag-convene ng Sabado o hindi. Nandito tayo ngayon kahit Sabado dahil lahat tayo rito concerned sa kinabukasan ng kabataang Pilipino. Ang sektor ng higher education ay haligi ng pambansang kaunlaran at salamin ng pinakamalalalim na di pagkapantay-pantay o inequities ng ating lipunan. Hinain na ang kakalabas, kailan lang lumabas yung EDCOM 2 report at mga kaagyat na hamon na ating hinaharap. For one, participation in higher education remains at 34.8%, mas mababa sa ASEAN average na 41.1%. Sa ilang rehiyon tulad ng BARM, ang participation ay 18% lang. The numbers on attrition are even more troubling. Nearly 4 out of 10 students nationwide drop out before finishing their courses. Sa BARM ulit, mas matindi. 93.4% ay hindi tumutuloy sa pag-aaral sa kolehiyo. Ang ibig sabihin, meron tayong henerasyon ng kabataan na pinutol ang mga pangarap, nawalan tayo ng mga potensyal na guro, inhinyero, teacher, abogado, health workers na kailangan ng ating bansa. Malinaw ang mga hadlang sa ating pangarap para sa kabataang Pilipino na nasa kolehiyo. Kailangan magtrabaho, nawawalan ng interes sa pag-aaral, at walang perang pangtustos. Habang pinalawak ng RA 10931 o Universal Access to Quality Tertiary Education Act ang mga oportunidad, meron ding ilang mga butas na kinakailangan pa ring ayusin. Many state universities and colleges have reached carrying capacity while local universities and colleges tend to offer only a narrow band of programs, mostly education and business. Nililimita ang mga maaaring pagpiliang kurso ng ating mga pinakamahihirap na mga estudyante. Equally concerning are the so-called reforms in the tertiary education subsidy. While the share of the poorest grantees has risen to 27%, the subsidy amounts have been reduced from 60,000 pesos to 10,000 pesos. For the 683,000 students from the 4-piece households who are eligible for college, kulang na kulang ang 10,000 piso kada isang taon para sa matrikula, living expenses, transportation, books bilang scholar sa kolehiyo. The EDCOM2 report is clear in its recommendations, and the question before us is, does the proposed 2026 budget address the problems effectively? Today, the Philippines counts, for example, only 172 researchers per 1 million, compared to 322 in other middle-income countries. Halos kalahati. Without strategic investment, our universities will remain primarily undergraduate factories while our neighbors surge ahead in innovation. Alam nating lahat na nandito ngayon na hindi lang isang line item ang 2026 budget para sa higher education. Sagot natin ito sa mga kabataang Pilipino na nagnanais ng mas magandang kinabukasan. I'm ready to hear the presentations and ready to support interventions that will provide additional funding for our state colleges and universities. Magandang umaga po. Maraming salamat.
Thank you, Senator Pangilinan. We deferred the budget presentation of the CHED because of this last-minute scheduling of the budget presentations. We decided to hold it off for now. Marami ho kasi tayong mga senators who expressed their interest to ask questions to CHED, particularly si Senate President Tito Soto, si Senator Pia Cayetano. So, dinefer na muna namin dahil last minute to and they had some previous engagements already. So, with that, again, we'll continue, we'll proceed with the presentation of SUCs, then we'll move on to UP, and then we'll move on to PERPI. So we recognize Dr. Tirso Ronquillo, who is the president of PASUC, representing all the state universities of our country.
The Honorable Chairperson of the Committee on Finance, Senator Sherwin Gatchalian, the Honorable Chairperson of the Committee on Higher Education here in the Senate, Senator Larragada, and of course, the member of the committee, Senator Kiko Pangilinan, the Honorable Chairperson and Commissioners of the Commission on Higher Education present here, colleagues on the state universities and colleges, good morning. First, I would like to take this opportunity to thank Senator Win to really take this very Saturday for the presentation of our budget. Yes, it is true that we are already around since Monday almost from the Congress, and I think some 2 days ago we have ended our hearing in Congress. And while we are around because of the cancellation of work and classes, we thank you for really taking this time, even on a Saturday. And on behalf of the 113 state universities and colleges, allow me to convey our deepest gratitude for this opportunity to present before the honorable members of the committee the SUC's expenditure program for fiscal year 2026. With the continued support of both our legislative and non-legislative partners, SUCs remain hopeful that their ample share in the fiscal year 2026 national budget is secured. The SUC's budget of 128.23 billion in 2024 and 122.16 billion for the current year have been prudently utilized and continue to yield tangible results as reflected in the accomplishment of our individual institutions. The major thrust and strategic direction of SUCs in pursuit of their core mandates and in alignment with the national development goals are as follows. First is to ensure access to quality tertiary education and lifelong learning. Second, to lead in advancing research, development, and innovation. Third, to strengthen community engagement and address the national needs of local communities. And fourthly, to foster partnerships, collaboration, and internationalization. Public higher education in the Philippines stands strong with 113 state universities and colleges and each 500 satellite campuses, serving nearly 2.1 million students nationwide. Each year, our SUSs produce and contribute to the workforce an average of 350,000 graduates, guided by more than 100,000 faculty and staff, and further supported by about 55,000 job order personnel, contract of service providers, and part-time lecturers. For fiscal year 2026, the total SUS's budget under the National Expenditure Program is 128.825 billion, broken down by expense class. 59.74% or 76.96 billion of the total budget is allocated for personnel services. 32.84% or 42.31 billion is for maintenance and other operating expenses. And only 7.42% or 9.56 billion is allotted for capital outlays. This clearly shows that while the bulk of our budget goes to salaries and operations only, very limited resources remain for capital outlays and much needed infrastructure. The table shows the 2026 National Expenditure Program for SUSs by program totaling 128.8 billion. The largest share goes to the higher education program with 79.5 billion or 61.75% of the total budget. This includes the pre-higher education with 26.1 billion or 20.3%. In contrast, only 2.6 billion or 2% is allotted for research programs, despite research being a core mandate of SUCs and a vital driver of national development. Meanwhile, the allocation of pre-higher education, though relatively higher than in fiscal year 2025, remains inadequate given the projected 2 million enrollees by fiscal year 2026. The next slide presents the regional distribution of the 2025 National Expenditure Program for SUCs. Of the total budget, the UP system takes the largest share at 20%, receiving 25.89 billion, followed by Region 3 with 12 SUCs at 8%. The NCR, including UP and MSU system, each received about 7%, while Region 6 and Region 8 account for 6% each. This shows that while Luzon and the UP system received the largest shares, allocation for Visayas and Mindanao remain comparatively smaller. From 2015 to 2024, the SUS's budget has steadily increased, thanks to the strong support of both the Senate and the House of Representatives, with only a slight reduction in fiscal year 2025, this current year, if you will be looking at the trend. For fiscal year 2026, the proposed budget rebounds to 128.825 billion, an increase of 6.67% or 5.46% compared to the current year's budget. Breaking down, we have personnel services rising from 11.79 billion or 18.09%. MOOE increased by 2.71 billion or 6.83%, but capital outlays suffered a sharp decrease of 7.83 billion or more than 45%. We therefore respectfully appeal for the restoration of capital outlay funds, as inadequate allocation may hamper SUCs in sustaining access, quality, and innovation in higher education. So generally looking, the